We'll begin tonight's bulletin with this story. Businesses that are most severely affected by the COVID-19 outbreak can expect to receive direct assistance under the economic stimulus package to be announced next week. Deputy International Trade and Industry Minister Ong Kian Meng said 3 of the most affected sectors identified by the government are tourism, retail and aviation.
I think the hardest hit businesses can anticipate that there will be more direct help for them. Definitely, like what I say, the 3 sectors, aviation, retail as well as tourism. So for industry, this includes, for example, business events. This is something that we are confident that will be addressed in the stimulus package.
He also said business performances are expected to rebound in the second half of this year and urged industry players to be prepared to attract more investors from China as well as multinational corporations, given Malaysia's stable and business-friendly environment. He was speaking to reporters after launching the Malaysia International Trade and Exhibition Centre's MyTag Smart Trade Zone (STZ) in the Federal Capital today. The STZ allows businesses to converge and harvest new potential leads, especially through its Smart Partners program. Now, in a related development, the tourism industry players had submitted 10 proposals to the government for the stimulus package to counter the economic impact of the COVID-19. Malaysian Association of Tour and Travel Agents MATA's Secretary General Nigel Wong said the outbreak is an opportunity to encourage greater domestic travel in the light of slowdown in international travel.
We are very encouraged by the meetings held in Putrajaya recently. I believe all the associations, MATA and MA foremost among them, have already made proposals to the Ministry of Finance, and indications are looking good, positive, and we are hoping for a good stimulus package, primarily for the tourism industry, which is a frontline industry and extremely important for the country, but I believe also for the rest of the country in various aspects.
He was speaking to reporters at a media conference announcing MATA's first ever domestic travel fair called Mata Cuti Cuti Malaysia, which will be held on April 4th to 5th at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre. Wong added that the domestic travel fair was a smart move as numerous tourism service providers will be offering travel packages at bargain prices and rates to fill up seats and rooms. The fair is expected to rake in 40 million ringgit in revenue. The COVID-19 situation in Malaysia continues to improve as 2 more patients have recovered. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad said the patients, a 27-year-old man and a 32-year-old woman, who are both Chinese nationals, were discharged from the Sultanah Bahiyah Hospital in Alor Setar and the Sultanah Maliha Hospital in Langkawi, respectively. With a new development, the Health Minister said Malaysia has only 5 people who are being treated in local hospitals.
3 di HKL, 1 Sultanah Bahiyah Kedah, dan saya lupa yang di Sungai Buloh, ya, Sungai Buloh kes ke-22 adalah seorang warga negara Amerika, ya, berumur 83 tahun, masih di Sungai Buloh.
The 2 patients were tested positive on February 14th and were put into isolation wards. The Health Ministry in a statement today also said cumulatively a total of 17 COVID-19 patients have fully recovered and have been discharged, and no new cases were reported to the National Crisis Preparedness and Response Centre CPRC today. The total of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Malaysia remains at 22. Now, at the same media conference, Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly also announced that all 2,658 on board the cruise ship MV Genting Dream, which docked at noon at the Bosted Cruise Centre in Port Klang, are currently undergoing health screening. He said so far those who have been screened have not shown any symptoms of COVID-19.
MV Genting Dream ya tidak pernah ke China. Dia tidak melewati atau tidak bersinggah di mana-mana di negara China, dan setibanya di Pelabuhan Kelang ya, pihak berkuasa kesihatan telah naik ke atas kapal untuk lakukan saringan. Ya, dan mana-mana penumpang yang bergejala diletakkan di bawah pemantauan di atas kapal atau di pusat kuarantin di sisi untuk pemeriksaan lanjut.
There are 957 passengers from 15 countries, including Malaysia, India, Canada, Czech Republic, Great Britain, Indonesia, Singapore and the US, and 1,701 crew members from 32 countries. As of 3 p.m., 350 passengers and 230 crew members have been screened and none of them have showed any symptoms. On the 4 Malaysians who were on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship, which had docked in Japan, Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly said 3 of them were passengers, while 1 is a crew member. He said 2 of them who tested positive for COVID-19 are a husband and wife, aged 71 and 66 respectively, and are currently in a stable condition.
2 daripada mereka, pasangan suami isteri, 71 tahun, ya, suaminya 71 tahun, istrinya 66 tahun, telah disahkan positif pada 16 Februari 2020 dan berada dalam keadaan stabil. These were the 2 out of 4 yang found to be positive. Ya. Mereka kini berada di Hospital Fujita di Nagoya untuk menerima lawatan lanjut.
He added that the other Malaysian passenger, a 61-year-old woman, was found to be negative for COVID-19 and she will be allowed to travel back home to Malaysia by the Japanese health authorities upon completion of the 14-day quarantine period. Datuk Seri Dr. Dzulkefly said the Malaysian crew member is currently being monitored on board the ship by Japanese health authorities. More than 620 passengers on the Diamond Princess have tested positive since the ship went into lockdown in Yokohama on February 5th. Meanwhile, Japanese officials have confirmed that 2 passengers on board the quarantined Diamond Princess cruise liners have died after being diagnosed with the coronavirus COVID-19. The victims, an 87-year-old man and an 84-year-old woman, were the first confirmed deaths among the passengers on board the cruise ship, bringing the total number of fatalities in Japan to 3. The victims had been previously hospitalized and were in serious condition after being diagnosed with pre-existing chronic diseases. News of the deaths came as Japanese officials defended the decision to keep all 3,700 passengers and crew on the ship for more than 2 weeks in an attempt to contain the outbreak. Meanwhile, a second group of about 600 Japanese and foreign passengers from the cruise ship have disembarked on Thursday. Around 500 Hong Kong passengers landed on Thursday morning, while another 100 foreign nationals were scheduled to leave on chartered flights on Monday. And China reported the biggest drop in new cases from the coronavirus outbreak in nearly a month on Thursday. The National Health Commission said 394 new confirmed cases of infections were reported on Wednesday, down from 1,749 cases a day earlier and the lowest since January 23rd. That brings the total accumulated number of confirmed cases nationwide so far to 74,576. Meanwhile, the death toll jumped to 2,118 on Thursday, after 136 additional deaths were reported, mostly in the Hubei province. However, the Hubei Health Commission said it was reducing the number of previously reported cases in a number of cities in the province by 279. Even without the adjustment, the number of new cases was sharply lower than the province's daily updates of the recent weeks. Over in South Korea, a cluster of COVID-19 infections centered on a church in the city of Daegu leaped to 39 cases Thursday, as the country's total spiked for the second successive day. Almost half the country's patients are linked to a 61-year-old woman who is a member of the Daegu branch of Shincheonji Church of Jesus, an entity often accused of being a cult. The Korea Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, KCDC, said in a statement that 31 new new coronavirus cases had been confirmed nationwide, 23 of them in the church cluster. Until Tuesday, South Korea had only confirmed 31 infections, but it now has a total of 82. The woman first developed a fever on February 10th, but reportedly twice refused to be tested for the coronavirus on the grounds that she had not recently travelled abroad and attended at least 4 services before being diagnosed. So far, 37 other members of the church have been confirmed as infected.